Good evening to all, wherever you may be. 2025 Concacaf Champions Cup continues here tonight with a thrilling showdown on tap. It's the second leg of round number 1 between Costa Rica's Herediano and Major League Soccer's Real Salt Lake. Good evening to all. I'm David Gascon. Thank you for joining us. We are live here from America First Field in Sandy, Utah. Temperatures right now at 40 degrees. It is a little cold outside. Some slight wind, a little bit of precipitation, but all in all, it should be a decent night for ball. And of course, the youngins are out tonight as well to support their hometown faithful. Herediano, the road team here tonight from Costa Rica. As we set the stage for tonight's contest, this is the second leg of 2. The last match that was played in San Jose a week ago was a scoreless draw. It didn't mean they didn't have a lot of activity, maybe some excitement along the way. The goals were obviously at a minimum, but the match ending in a scoreless draw did have some theatrics midway through the first half and also midway through the second half. Plenty of intensity. Both teams had their scoring opportunities. But for tonight's outcome, for Real Salt Lake, they want to get on the board in the worst kind of way, because although they're the home team this evening, they don't have the advantage when it comes to the aggregate score. Had they scored last week and the game ended in a 1-1 or a 2-2 draw, then they would be in the driver's seat, if you will. But for tonight, Herediano, if they score a goal and the match ends in, say, in a 1-1 draw or a 2-2 draw, they will advance to the second round. That's how the aggregate score is broken down. So as we look at the scoreboard here tonight, you'll see how things are divvied up with the aggregate score, but it goes all to the road team in these kind of bouts. So we'll see if the home team from Real Salt Lake can get themselves off the board quickly and get themselves dictating the tempo to they want to their satisfaction. Now, for the Costa Rican squad, Herediano, it's a team with some serious pedigree. 17 appearances in this competition, capturing a couple different titles along the way. You think about where they're at right now, pretty good form with manager Alexander Vargas. His squad right now, defensively sound. They didn't give up a lot of pieces last week against Real Salt Lake. In fact, one of the notable figures on that chessboard for them was Marcelo Hernandez. Hernandez was fantastic for them last week. He didn't score any goals, had quality opportunities towards target, but was sound defensively, was not a liability. And all in all, it was an impressive performance for Herediano defensively against Real Salt Lake. So with them and what they did pose in terms of a formidable foe last week against Real Salt Lake has their own advantage here tonight playing in Sandy, Utah. First of all, the weather. Second of all, the elevation. Third of all, the fans in attendance here tonight. So a lot of different things are in their factor, but of course, everything decided between the chalk or, of course, the paint. Hoping for them, they can get off to a good start, and that could propel them to a victory this evening in the Champions Cup second leg. But for them, it's the first time since 2016 that they're back at it in the Champions Cup, and they want to make a statement. After last season in MLS, they were stellar. They finished 3rd in MLS Western Conference standings, and it's a team that had a lot of good spirit last year, a lot of productivity, compiling 59 points. But this year, we'll see how things play out. Injuries could be a concern. Attrition might be up there as well, too. And just the output, the work that they did last year, does that duplicate, does that transcend into an even better 2025 campaign? We'll soon find out. Now, in terms of history and the background with these two teams and how they faced each other and how they've gotten together, we know about the scoreless draw last week, check. These teams got together, though, roughly about 13 years ago. Hard to believe, but back in 2012, same competition, different results. Herediano took the first match in Utah. They won a match against Real Salt Lake 1-0. And then they played to a scoreless draw as well. And so you look at the competition, Herediano and Real Salt Lake, what they have done, where they have come, and where they want to go. Real Salt Lake's all-time record in CONCACAF play is solid. That's the good part for them. 11 victories, 5 losses, and 6 draws. And they've only lost once at home in this tournament. So that is fantastic. But when you look at some of the other elements involved, you're thinking about goal scoring, you're thinking about offensive output, and how they can get themselves in the driver's seat. Real Salt Lake has kept clean sheets in 7 of its last 10 CONCACAF Champions matches. The problem is the offensive output. In those 10 matches, Real Salt Lake, despite the fact they've recorded 7 clean sheets, they have a record of 5-4-1. And they've only conceded 4 goals total in those 10 matches. So while the defense is good, the goalkeeping has been solid, the offensive productivity has been lacking. It's been wavering in good parts. And tonight here in front of their hometown faithful, we're hoping to find twine at least once, potentially even twice, to get themselves onto round number 2. Our officials tonight leading the charge onto the pitch, along with both teams. So we're going to step aside for a brief moment. When we come back, we'll get you the starting 11 and first touch. Leg number 2, round number 1, Real Salt Lake, CS Herediano, coming up next. Here we go. Real Salt Lake, CS Herediano. Get to the starting lineup for both of these sides. Pablo Mastroeni in the charge here, the 4-2-3-1 formation. Cabral will be in net here tonight. Cabral was challenged a couple times last week. Once in the opening half, once in the second half. See the deployment here, especially on that back line. Kobe Henry was fantastic in the first leg. He was all over the pitch. Reliable defensively, trying to make some things happen up front offensively for Real Salt Lake. He had a valiant night in performance. Unfortunate for him, even with the clean sheet, team couldn't get on the board. He won't be alone though. Let's see what kind of productivity we have up front. Iago had a lot of touches in the first leg and had 3 different scoring opportunities and missed one of them after he was stopped by Danny Carvajal. We'll get to him in a minute on a breakaway. Officials here tonight. Fernando Hernandez, our leading official. Alberto Morin, Ibrahim Martinez, and Karen Hernandez. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our officiating crew tonight. As you see, Karen, a little bit of a headscarf and beanie. And of course, the fellas in the men and women are in control room. Tatiana Guzman, Oscar Mejia, of our officials. Comfortable spot where they're at here tonight compared to the officials on the pitch, but they'll be looking at how this night unfolds. Goals, harsh fouls, different things in the playmaking. Offside, onside, whatever it may be. Conversely for Herediano, its club and how they are deployed for Alexander Vargas is as follows. Carvajal was probably the man of the match last week for the road team. He was stellar. He stopped Iago on a breakaway and had a couple of other point blank bids that he stopped Iago on. But if it wasn't for Carvajal's performance, they would have gotten shellacked by an easy 3 or 4-0 outcome. The opportunities for Real Salt Lake were far and few, but when they came, they were high level and from dangerous spots in the pitch. We're not talking about from 20 or 30 yards out. We're talking about maybe 10 to 15 at most. And for Carvajal, he was alert, he was communicating, he was on his game, and they were able to play to a scoreless draw. This, though, second leg as this match is officially underway. Real Salt Lake will be moving from left to right on your screen. Herediano will be moving from right to left. The winner of this match will move on to the second round. As you see the aggregate score on the right, that is the more heavily weighted thing that we'll be looking at this evening if Herediano scores in this contest. If this match ends up in a draw with goals, Real Salt Lake is done for the Concacaf Champions Cup round. They'll be done. They'll be thinking about the regular season of MLS. Herediano, they can advance with a total of at least one goal and a tie, or of course this match gets you extra time and PKs. It's another way they can find themselves in the second round. But of course, lots of things to unfold as this match goes along. One of the different things that we saw last week in San Jose was both these teams not playing on top and on the front foot so much as just being more reactive to what was happening in front of them. Vera. Backline was busy last week for Real Salt Lake. Marchuk is amongst the starters here tonight. Possession. One of the notable figures amongst the regulars here tonight. That one played through nicely. Galvez, fortunate for him. Salvez not able to locate it. Gonzalez will be on the left-hand side. Henry on the back line will be working his way around the pitch. And he was so active defensively for Real Salt Lake. There were moments where it did look like Real Salt Lake was playing up a player offensively. Carvajal. Common foul there. Palacio. Well, a lot of things that did go on last week through a full 90. Didn't see an overly physical side take possession last week. Handful of fouls from each side and only a couple yellow cards. It was probably one of the cleaner matches we'll get all year. Not that it lacked any kind of intensity. It's just the physical element was not as loud and profound that we have seen in other Concacaf Champions Cup matches. Poor feed though for Palacio. Herediano did as much as they possibly could a week ago to try to counter. Palacio though and company holding serve. Brook. Marchuk. Quick pivot. Played it through. Oh, a shot that was shanked. First golden opportunity of the match, and Iago, much like he did a week ago, a bit snake bit as we look back at it again. Marchuk and his ball had eyes. That's probably the easiest way to describe it. Ball goes through two different legs, and Iago simply had that thing slicing wide of the right bar. Similar to what he did last week, he would set himself up in a prime scoring opportunity, and his teammates found him. Earmark that as this match continues. especially if Real Salt Lake can't get on the board. And Nelly, the captain, here tonight. Aguilar on the other side for Herediano. Herediano unbeaten the last 4 home matches, setting up tonight's difference maker. Doing so against clubs from the United States. A couple wins and a couple draws. Real Salt Lake just looking for any kind of offensive push and sees the result of a goal. Herediano, one of the oldest clubs in Costa Rican soccer history. A club that was founded back in the early 1900s, 1921 to be exact. Played across again. Iago, the intended target. Chuk looking for him this time. Ball was not equally placed in the right spot. First corner of the match, and it goes to the home side here, 7th minute. Fans will certainly be vocal here. Gonzalez softly through that header. It was an interesting element last week for Real Salt Lake and what they did do on set pieces. When they played short, they were more effective on their service, and it led to better scoring opportunities. Gonzalez there. However, conversely, when they played a bit long on their corners, trying to work the back post, there was nobody really in sight for Real Salt Lake. So it felt like some wasted opportunities. And speaking of wasted, what a bad giveaway that was. Herediano trying to recover. Iago wants to get it back. That one nearly plays through to Brook. Speaking of it, Marchuk winds it up with the left foot, just misses that near corner. Marchuk looking for some elevation. Carvajal had a beat on it though near the goal line, and proper read not coming out to challenge. Herediano took a while for them last week to get themselves into an offensive rhythm. It was derived from a turnover by Real Salt Lake that got them in gear. However, tonight so far they've been playing on their heels a bit. Any club, it's a recipe for disaster. Club from Costa Rica making their 17th appearance, Champions Cup. Qualified for this tournament, semifinalists last year. Central American Cup played through, bouncing around outside top of the box. That drive going to be nullified. Aguilar tried to let it rip to no avail. Real Salt Lake didn't give up anything cheap last week. The efforts are provided by Herediano. They worked it. Not a lot of posturing last week. Tonight, Bit curious to see how things would unfold for Real Salt Lake playing at home. So far, a good indication of what the message was sent, not only by the players but the coaching staff. Quick touch, Marchuk. Anything but losing his footing. Perez giving a tap on the backside, but pretty decent foul. Salvas will line this up. Marchuk got a necklace he needs to quickly dispose of or hide. Salvas, low line drive, poor placement. Aggression stays on though for Real Salt Lake. Marchuk will return. Real Salt Lake, members near and far that have come to play in Utah. A member of MLS, club that was founded in 2004. They had their 20-year anniversary though, as they entered MLS competition in 2005. Captured an MLS Cup title back in 2009. Had a runner-up finish in 2010, 2011. Concacaf Champions League. Actually lost on an aggregate score to CF Monterrey, 3-2. As they enter this tournament as of last week, it's their 4th ever appearance in the competition. And it's been a while since their last endeavor. 2016 was when they last played. Lost the quarterfinals. A team that was sturdy and dependable last year in MLS competition. Compiling 59 points and doing so while only losing 7 times. 16 victories during their run last year. And some decent changes, but of course it's just the name of the game and the profession. Injuries, free agency, signings. Of course, players off on loan, and the configurations change all the time, and can't discount the fact that you have the draft and what that all means. Bravo, a good job holding his footing. That delivery, everyone marked Herediano. Aguilar trying to settle it down. Sneaky delivery, couldn't find a sweet spot. Marchuk, clean as it was, he's not happy with it. Pretty clean with the captain. Real Salt Lake in this home setting. Their CONCACAF record at home all time is stellar. They only have 1 loss here. In Utah, that is. 8-1-2 record. Only loss was back in 2011. Iago couldn't hold it. Nelly though picking him up. And Nelly waving around. Iago looking for that delivery. That ball headed away at the last moment by Rodriguez. Top of the box, held on. Herediano trying to scramble around. Palacio now with it. Palacio lines one up. That ball is airmailed as it goes wide. Didn't see enough of that from Real Salt Lake last week. Real Salt Lake playing a lot more as the aggressor tonight. cagey match a week ago, and shifting gears from Costa Rica to the United States. Ray had it. Aguilar switched the pitch. Quiros settling it. Rodriguez, tough ball placement. A heel kick though, and Vera not going to be surprised by that. Maybe a lower level club and or player going to be surprised. Not the case there. Fine job by Vera. Real Salt Lake trying to push the counter. Ayaga with numbers of 3-on-2. Iago, top of the box. Ooh, just a bad pass intercepted. Get the sense with Iago, when he erupts, he certainly will go off. Last week could have at least scored twice, maybe even 3 times. And tonight, should have at least a goal and probably an assist there. The good news for Real Salt Lake, not for a lack of opportunity, but that's about capitalizing on said chances. Marchuk able to stabilize. Marchuk trying to wind one up with his left foot. That one's blocked on the way through. Coverage on the way through by Perez. Closing that lane. Aguilar jostling for position. Two captains going toe-to-toe. A lot more spunk and spirit in tonight's contest compared to last week. I wonder if the weather has any kind of impact on that. You go from playing in Costa Rica with a decent amount of humidity, and now you go to the great state of Utah in the United States, and a little bit different, would say. Temperatures at kickoff 40 degrees. Saw some snow on the mountaintops. 'Tis the season. Snowboarders and skiers, everyone else in between. But the pitch conditions tonight are perfect. Shades of green. The ball has some good run on it tonight. And of course, the energy in the building. America First Field. It's fantastic, despite the fact that it's a school night. Playing this one deep to the attacking third. And a touch foul there, and for good reason. I beg your pardon, as soon as I said that, our set official to flag up, so we'll be offside first. Hernandez in the jersey tight a little bit. He played that, and he was offside. Won a shot attempt so far for Herediano. Salt Lake, Real Salt Lake, with a handful of them. Marchuk gave it up, want to get it back. Brook with the left foot. The placement goes right back to him. Some players last week for Real Salt Lake were notable on their efforts. Tonight, a bit different. Hidalgo, first time calling his name tonight. Bodie, that is. Slow dribbler, easy to manage for Carvajal. For as good as he was last week, and alert as he is tonight, I don't know if we're going to beat him with something from about 40 yards out. but stranger things have happened. Cabral, his counterpart, wasn't tested a whole lot. Couple chances that he saw last week came up short. Tonight, just a bit different. Showing at least so far for Real Salt Lake. Now defending. Herediano, no numbers yet. You see again how stout Real Salt Lake has been. A moment of penetration for Herediano. Really sent back the other way. Fine job, Anelli. Iago trying to go on three. Ball somehow freed up by Real Salt Lake. Marchuk with the right-footed chip. Thought about the shot instead, but he did not pull it. Played that across again. Brown able to intercept and disrupt the flow. Unselfish, maybe. Tap of a location, though. Here, Marchuk. Might as well let it rip. And the 6 volleyed around. Rodriguez didn't look the most comfortable there, but got it out of harm's way. From outside, Salvez, slow roller, flicked the way through. Carvajal had a scramble for it. End of this first half, we'll have stats, we'll have some highlights. Take a peek at the action that's been going on so far. Conclusion of this contest, we'll try our best to pull aside a player and or a coach. Some post-game highlights and some stats. Quick little sneak peek into round number 2. So much to chew on a match like this. Second leg of round number 1. So you see the score. It is scoreless. Nobody has the advantage in the aggregate column either. Hidalgo, bad ball by him. Might be the first unforced turnover of the match for Real Salt Lake. That's how clean they've been tonight. They've been comfortable. They've been precise. They've been playing on their front foot. They have been the better team of the 2 tonight, but that doesn't mean anything at the end of 90 minutes if you don't score. Pass intercepted. Falling onto the foot, Anelli. Nice move. Head up all the way. The cross, any elevation on it. Ball somehow found the way. Oh, and Carvajal scrambling to his right. That ball just missed the corner. A fortunate bounce. Anelli see the intent. Gonzalez, who just turned and fired. That was more about getting rid of it than it was trying to pick a corner. Missed it by that much. More on the counter. Marchuk wide open on the right-hand side. Brook, top of the box. Pretty good play. Herediano, as much as they can defensively. Despite bending a little bit, they're not breaking at all. Gonzalez. Tough play, compromising position for him to be in. Hobbling around, yes, appears to be okay for now. And company not effective so far in the attacking third. Marchuk. Iago this time he scores in the 26th minute. The payoff is there, and Real Salt Lake on the board. It's 1-0 for the home side. Some might say he was due. Others would counter and say he's overdue. Marchuk, though, put that ball right where it needed to be. And it was tailor-made for all the chances Iago has had over the last week. He wasn't missing that. An easy tap-in goal, and for Carvajal, he could do nothing about it. First goal in 2 legs for either side, and it goes to Real Salt Lake. They lead 1-0. Doesn't really matter which side you're rooting for, but in a match like this, felt the weight and the fate is going to be in the sure foot of Marchuk and Iago for what they have done in this opening half. They've been fantastic. Players that put on performances like this almost feel like they need to get rewarded. Otherwise, doubt starts creeping in. Iago just missed on that one. Carvajal immediately trying to recover. Iago, the man from Ghana. Marchuk. Polish descent. Young player with fantastic skill. Not done yet. Takes a spill. Herediano looking for something offensively to the back post. A high alert and a fine play defensively by Hidalgo. First corner of the match. The roadside. Take a peek at this again. Good transition defense for Real Salt Lake. Not materializing yet. Time looking to the back post. The ball came out for a quick peek. Herediano keeping possession. Aguilar sandwiched. A turnover. Iago settle things down. Some good confidence for now anyway. Rodriguez. decent space, good footing. Gave it up, got it back. Rodriguez, slight hesitation, taken away. Fine job not giving up on the play, but Hidalgo working quickly against him. Iago doing a little bit of chirping. Alan Cruz will retreat. For Real Salt Lake, trying to redeem themselves, not only for playing to a scoreless draw last week against Herediano, but they had a bout outcome last week as well against San Jose Earthquakes. It's the worst opening day loss in MLS since back in the early 2000s, 2007 to be exact. They got hammered 4-0. And despite the fact that they lost that contest, they can't feel sorry for themselves. It is a brutal month and a half for Real Salt Lake, where they're back on the horse, which feels like almost every other day. Quiros and Vera jostling. Vera, good play and recovery by Anelli. And one thing, if anything, for Real Salt Lake, they might have conceded 4 goals to San Jose, but their defense has been stellar and in lockdown mode tonight. Iago in the 26th minute, Marchuk with the helper. That's where we stand, 1-0. You mentioned the work for Real Salt Lake. They played in Costa Rica on February the 19th. Then they returned back to the States, have to go to California and play San Jose. After tonight's contest, they get right back on the horse. They play Seattle on March the 1st. And then potentially they could face LA Galaxy. That'd be in the second round of the Concacaf Champions Cup. Then they play San Diego. And they would play the second leg of the second round. Then they're at Houston on the 15th. Back home against Dallas, at Minnesota on the 29th. So there's no rest for the weary. Speaking of it, the good news is the season is fresh. So that means the legs are too. '34th minute. Iago in the 26th, the difference maker so far. Marchuk with the assist. Salt Lake trying to do something they have never done against this club from Costa Rica. It's win a match. Couple draws. They've lost once. Difference now is with the aggregate score. Although they're down 1-0, Herediano, they would be in a fantastic position if they could tie this game up at 1-1. They do so, match ends in a 1-1 draw, they advance. Iago trying to nullify any thoughts of that. Good play, fine recovery, sweeping across by Rodriguez. Herediano coming into this contest. Semifinalist last year in the Concacaf Central American Cup. Captured the Apertura title. Team trying to be stout defensively. Already cracked once. Can't afford to concede another, especially before the end of the opening half. Iago looking for more delivery. Back post. Not around yet. And Dago, not good velocity on that shot with no elevation on it either. Ooh, harsh challenge just as he entered the box. And you can see the excitement or lack thereof from plenty of the players on the pitch for Herediano. And Brook, though, beside himself. Take a peek at this again, and Brook can promise he did not go down on his own accord. It's about as direct a hit as you'll ever see. I mean, Brown just simply lined him up. I don't know how you can let that thing slip by, but they did. Aguilar trying to put that ball into a curious position. Vera able to intercept. Competition tonight has been one-sided traffic. Real Salt Lake doing exactly what they want to do here tonight. And taking the advantage in the 26th minute. Frankly, they probably should have had a goal earlier on than that. Or as they try to seize up onto the moment. Zalvez, Iago, Zalvez again with a lane. For Iago, good placement, but this time Brown able to get the right foot out. And they continue to ask questions, don't they? Real Salt Lake, at times they've played direct. They've been working all kinds of angles. Have not seen any kind of activity on this side of the pitch. Cabral, pretty happy camper. Again, all it played through to Carvajal, and Iago trying to find an extra gear. such luck yet. Physicality continuing. Brook. Marchuk looking all the way. He's got some numbers on the left-hand side. Slight hesitation. Play over into a corner. Marchuk not looking too happy with it. See the idea for Marchuk, but not enough real estate. This one working to the back post, and Kobe Henry just a bit off by a step. The physicality here. Saw a little bit first 2 to 3 minutes, but outside of that, it's been relatively clean. Quiros on his nose or mouth, and Nelly. Quick tie up, the elbow. Good news for Real Salt Lake. They got some players back into the lineup, notably Diego Luna. Luna not starting tonight, but available if need be. And you're in a situation like this for Real Salt Lake, playing so many minutes in a truncated timetable. Have to worry about the odometer and making sure your players have enough tread left on their tires. Quick touch, Gonsalves. Marchuk, the crossing attempt. I think that's what the attempt was, but it goes on target anyway. And Carvajal coming out a few steps to challenge. We'll keep an eye on the fourth official for extra time. Cannot imagine we'll see much, if any, extra time. Maybe a whole minute, maybe. Played a cross and a one-hopper to Cabral, who gobbled up. There's been a whole lot in the arsenal. Herediano doing a whole lot of defending, not as much attacking. Iago again trying to disrupt, and this will be a corner kick for the home side. Pressure causing pressure. Looks like we'll get 2 minutes of extra time. It's a bit surprising. Players will take it. Kobe Henry short. Iago couldn't get to it. Vera with a valiant effort to turn and fire. And speaking of that, Carvajal sees a weak ball come his way. It's a good response from Real Salt Lake tonight. Have the early goal. Love to go in the locker room with an advantage, 1 or 2. Marchuk on the right-hand side. For the time being, he was onside. Didn't have the near set official with the flag up. Salt Lake asking more questions than answering. Herediano needs some kind of offensive spark. It was limited last week, but tonight they've been silenced. They have one corner on the night and all of 2 shots. Touch and delivery, but foul them being quickly scraped away. Manelli's been in the middle of the attack all night long for Real Salt Lake. Really hasn't been a weak moment in this match for the home side. Unwavering pursuit of the ball, and defensively they have clamped down and outmanned everything coming their way defensively. Appears to be this is the final push for Herediano. Iago, the intercept, Gonzalez couldn't settle it. First half highlights and stats right around the corner. Interviews during this time. Elliott was taken out. Should do it for this first half. See Fernando Hernandez take a peek at his watch. And that will be that. So anything but careful in the opening half for Real Salt Lake. And the fans here from America First Field letting their team know it. Iago in the 26th minute, Marchuk, the helper on it. First 45 up and down. Second half more to come. Imagine Real Salt Lake will make some minor tweaks, but they're in cruise control right now. They lead Herediano by a score of 1-0.
The Concacaf Champions Cup is sponsored by Celebrate every match 20 moment with the most important things.
Take a look at the first half numbers in this contest. It is all one-sided to the home team. Real Salt Lake with the advantage, 6 shots to just the 1. Both teams back on the pitch. Start of the second half is just moments away. Match taking place here, American First Field. Sandy, Utah. Gorgeous night. Kickoff temperatures about 39 degrees and a few scattered clouds, but all in all, there's a handful of players rocking sleeves and gloves. Some just straight sleeves, others some gloves. Got a good look at Dominic Marchuk. He assisted on Iago's goal in the 26th minute. That was not all the noise that those two players made in the opening half. And I got to imagine, depending on how the second half unfolds, we'll see a lot more of them. With the breakdown of the schedule, though, for Real Salt Lake, if they can capture one more goal, or potentially two here to start the second half, got to imagine players will be coming off the bench as quickly as humanly possible. Just because the implications, not only for tonight's contest, moving on to the second round, but also giving the regulars a little bit of a reprieve and some rest. Again, for Real Salt Lake, after tonight's contest, they play against Seattle. It will be in Utah, but it's on Saturday, March the 1st. Hard to believe, right? A couple days away from doing that. And then if they do win tonight's affair, they will get a date at home against LA Galaxy. It'll be the second round, but leg number 1. And then after that, on March the 5th, they play on March the 8th in San Diego FC. So all in all, what it feels like for Real Salt Lake is they have a double dip. They have 2 matches every week until you get into the middle portion of April as the second half begins. Real Salt Lake on the attack, moving from right to left. Herediano trying to counter in the worst kind of way, moving from left to right. They did not do anything offensively in the first half. 1 shot, nothing on goal, 1 corner. It was a rather listless attack from Herediano. It's not like they were dynamic last week against Real Salt Lake, but they had their chances. Makes it a little bit more difficult for Real Salt Lake, given the fact they have the 1-0 advantage. Speaking of that, on a wide angle, this will result in a corner kick, though. It's our first good look from Herediano all night long as Vega picking himself off the deck. Randy, who just came into the contest replacing Jose Rodriguez. It's the 1 change made from both sides. Alexander Vargas, the head coach, Herediano, trying to mix things up. While Real Salt Lake did pretty much everything they wanted in the first 45 minutes, they concede a goal here. They're in a world of hurt. Aggregate score faces one side until you get to the second leg. These teams played last week in San Jose. It was a scoreless draw, but tonight, Real Salt Lake with the only goal in the first half. Iago in the 26th minute. That's the difference maker. Danny Carvajal had no chance on it. Conversely, Rafael Cabral has not been busy at all for Real Salt Lake. He has faced all of 1 shot. Didn't even need to make a save either. Anelli. Quick touch right inside Iago. Near the 6th, that ball almost found his mark. Carvajal, who's been busy and aggressive in both matches so far. No surprise from him. Trick looking for his 2nd assist of this contest. And is picking himself off the deck. Joaquin, man from Mexico. Pretty interesting mixture of players for Herediano, speaking of, mixtures that shot. Just hooked wide left. Rodriguez and Hernandez mixing things up, and Jose, who let it rip, just missed. This is about as creative as they've been all night long. One has to be curious. Where's this kind of light in the first half of the club from Costa Rica? One goal here for Herediano is going to put Real Salt Lake on high alert. Aggregate score for a road team holds superior weight. If the match ends in 90 minutes in a 1-1 tie, we will not see extra time. Archuk again. Archuk trying to elevate, gets taken out. No call. Puzzling as it was when he was leveled near the 6th in the first half. And no PK was awarded. Fairly similar there. Anelli, Iago, and Salvas, and Hidalgo all on the attack up front. Brooks' shot blocked. Brooks really wasn't called upon a whole lot in the first half to do much. Now finally a call. Raya there. Saw some decent movement up front on the right-hand side from Quiros in the first half, but okay, who can be a spark offensively for Herediano? Just don't know. Marchuk over the left-hand side. He just missed Kobe Henry. Kobe in a full stretch mode with that left leg. Missed it by a whisker. Check it out. Kobe did a 360 there. The unfortunate part for him is just timing his step. This match, like last week, can easily be 3-0 Real Salt Lake. Carvajal has been tested. Herediano trying to counter here. Junca. Talk about him a whole lot in the first half. He's been quiet, which has been good for the defense and back line for Real Salt Lake. Seldomly in the first half where they tested. Second half a little bit different. They've given some back. Possession in the first half 58% to 42 in favor of Real Salt Lake. Shots were 6-1 in favor of the home side. Aguilar here. Aguilar, pretty good bend of the left foot. Cabral had to come out and punch it away. Aguilar in the first leg of round number 1 was fantastic on set pieces. He had good placement on corners and on free kicks. It's a dangerous moment. Herediano there. 53rd minute. Only one change so far for both sides combined. Randy Vega did come in. Jose Rodriguez departed. Counter. Potential numbers, we'll find out. Brook waiting for some reinforcements, turning the corner. Brook beats 2 defenders. Shot with the left foot, deflected on the way through. Was an open seam. Transition here in the second half for Herediano has been decent. First half lacked a little bit of energy. Something materializing? No. Bravo cut off for a moment. Bravo, can he get it back? Too much in the physicality. A real counter argument from Hernandez. Temperatures have now dipped down to 34 degrees in Sandy, Utah. The good news is the wind has calmed down. Only down about 2 miles an hour. But it is chilly. It looked like it crossed the end line. Not the case though as we continue on. Iago taken out, no call. Aguilar. Quiros, left-footed sprinkle into the box. Decent move. Bravo shoots and he scores! Oh, what a breakdown defensively for Real Salt Lake, and we are level at 1-1. The home team is shocked. And the fans, well, they are really sore now. Good ball into the box and a quick chip. Bravo not messing around. But this is all credited to back in this sequence earlier on when Iago was taken out at midfield. Brown with an easy tap over to Bravo, and Bravo wasted no time, pulled the trigger, and it's 1-1. Well, that is a back-breaking goal for Real Salt Lake to concede here early in the second half. The score being level at 1-1, it favors Herediano. A road goal, and the first road goal that's been scored in these two legs. Now the native Costa Rican delivering. Soon to be 25 years of age. But known more so for what he can do physically in the middle of the pitch. Strong in the aerial pursuits. This is back in the previous sequence. And you look at Iago being taken out by Brown there. That's exactly what jump-started everything. And now we'll have VAR come into play in this situation. That should be the case. And that's our first look at it. We've seen harsher challenges be unchecked in this match, if that gives you any kind of indication of which way this might go. I say that tongue-in-cheek. It's a good ball, though. We'll see what kind of indication we have here in a matter of seconds from our lead official, Fernando Hernandez. Oh, wow. A break for Real Salt Lake. VAR comes into play, and Bravo's goal wiped off the board. huge moment in this match, and a swing of energy from pillar to post. Diego Luna, who just returned last week for Real Salt Lake, is going to make an appearance. Diego, as you can see, wore that headgear, busted nose and all. Man from Sunnyvale, California, remember the U.S. national team. Missing some action last week and out for a little while. His youth development was not with Real Salt Lake. In fact, it was with San Jose. Pretty easy for him considering San Jose and Sunnyvale are in close proximity, but made the move to USL Championship, playing for El Paso, and then transferred to Real Salt Lake in 2022. He's represented the United States. U14, U17, U20 youth national team, so he's been around the block quite a bit. But elevated to the senior national team just last year. First sub of this match for Real Salt Lake. And fortunate enough as it was, call that went in their favor. Should have gone in their favor anyway. That's a luxury that you have with VAR being in play. But a major impact too for the club from Costa Rica. Instead of being tied in the match and up front on the weighted aggregate score, still down only by a goal. Despite the fact that Real Salt Lake has played a clean brand of ball in the first half, they have looked anything perfect here in half number 2. They have been vulnerable. Salves softly placed across. Junka all the way across the pitch. Popped up. Marchut takes a shot. Great stop by Carvajal. Point blank the bid. That would have iced this game up on a cold Wednesday night. Carvajal, the man of the match last week, keeping his team afloat. Not much of an angle for Marchut to try to pick a corner at. The velocity just could not overpower the keeper. Gonsalves here. 62nd minute to the middle of the pitch. A decent move by Vera to elevate. Just couldn't get to that ball though. Winner of this match moves on to the second round, and they will meet LA Galaxy. FC Cincinnati and Otagua, they played earlier today, a 1-1 draw. Seattle Antigua, they play tonight at 10:30 Eastern. Things on the plate. More on the menu tomorrow. Luna, quick touch. Can he get it back? No. Bad pass behind him. Real Salt Lake, Anelli holding down the pressure and possession. Tapered away. Gonsalves, that ball partially deflected on the way through. Carvajal, not easy for him. He's going one way. That ball takes a nasty ricochet, goes the other. It's good night. Sweet play between the wickets. Junka. Gonsalves, the touch. Marchuk, lazy pass though. Pierced away. Nelly. Gonsalves, open space. Goes right back to him, the right foot. Not pure on that attempt. Blocked on the way through. Real Salt Lake trying to put this game to bed. Iago looking for his second marker of this contest. Oh, it almost found him. Contorting his body, he can only do so much. Junka, back post. Valiant effort. Goes steering away. It's almost like Herediano's goal that was wiped off the board after video review. VAR coming into play as a wake-up call for Real Salt Lake. Herediano have had far and few of the threatening moments in the first 45, but here in half number 2, they've been just about even with Real Salt Lake. Iago in the 26th minute. The difference maker right now for the club for the United States. Costa Ricans still in this thing. 66th minute though, and time is wasting away. For the first half, the shots were 6-1 in favor of Real Salt Lake. Into the second half, the score has stayed the same. Possession, shots, just about even. For the match, possession still in favor of Real Salt Lake, 57% to 43. Shots in half number 2, 4-2 in favor of Real Salt Lake. Luna scaling back. Quiros will have to retrieve it. A long way to go for him. Quick flip. Luna, nope, couldn't get to it. Rodriguez jostling. Iago here. Junka nearly trapped and lost it. Bravo had a goal wiped out because of VAR. And now the buildup continues for Herediano. Real Salt Lake can prevail. It'll be their first time ever beating Herediano. Time capturing a W in 4 matches. Real Salt Lake going to make some changes here. Hate at least one of them. Aguilar. And Frim just not on the same page, and just a lack of offensive prowess here from Herediano. It's one thing to get a goal, and to get a second one against the way that Real Salt Lake has played tonight. changes coming for Real Salt Lake. Those changes in a moment. Iago bowling over Bravo. Let's see if those changes are happening now. Looks like Wolf is going to come in. Luna had just entered moments ago. Pablo Ruiz. Tyler Wolf as well. So the change is coming for the home side with the advantage. And over 2/3 of the way home. Zalvez's night is over with. And not with any kind of disappointment. He was fantastic on the evening. Marchuk, a lot of spotlight should come his way for the creativity and the ability to set people up offensively. Iago named. Ojeda will come in. Manelli, his night is over with. So a lot of the players that needed to respond for Real Salt Lake did tonight. The question is, will one goal hold up? Luna. Lost possession here, top of the box. This could be trouble. Bravo, right hand side, they score! This time it'll count, and we are level at 1-1. There's the captain, Aguilar on the board, and it's 1-up late in the second half. Brutal to see for Real Salt Lake. They just made 3 changes and it burned them. Easy turnover and a good capitalization on it. Alan Cruz is the one that stymied the counter. Palacio, who didn't have a beat on it, had that ball ripped away. Cruz got it back from Aguilar, who put it home. And Cabral, who had no chance on the previous goal, certainly not going to stop that shot from Aguilar. Goal in the 70th minute. And a little bit of chirping from the roadside. Fernando Hernandez doing a little bit of lecturing right now, trying to get everyone from Herediano on the same side. But yeah, Bravo and company are chirping just a bit, and for good reason. They had no offensive punch in the first half, none. And now here in the second half, they've played a match 50-50. So now we're level. And the aggregate score evened up at 1-1. But it does favor road goals. Neither team scored in the first leg in San Jose. So the advantage goes to Herediano. And for a team that, oddly enough, has had its number against Real Salt Lake in minimal activity, trying to close the door shut on Real Salt Lake's chances of advancing to the second round. And this will be a booking. Vera, his first of the night from either side. He knew it. Brian nodding in confidence in what he did. Vega came to start this second half off the sideline. Take a look back at this sequence, and yeah, that'll be a booking every single time. You talk about wearing it. That's exactly what Vega did. Colombian inflicting some damage on the Costa Rican. Now a free kick though. Cabral get behind a small configured wall. Real Salt Lake concedes a second goal. This game is over. Luna. '75th minute. Time is a ticking. And now you can't help but think about the opportunities that Iago had in the first half. He scored once. Had a look right around the 8th minute to score the game's first goal and missed. Jumping up, Iago, and that's just a poor play. Junka trying to work quickly. Salt Lake perhaps overextending, or they'll have to. Vera here. Salt Lake can play as aggressive or patient as they want, but match ends in full time in a 1-1 draw, and the tournament's over with. Hasn't been quite the start just yet for Real Salt Lake, at least in the month of February. Some preseason activity followed by Concacaf Champions Cup. MLS regular season beginning as well. In the opener, they got trounced by San Jose 4-0. But losing 4-0 in match number 1, much different than match number 17 or 18. Especially for a club that finished amongst the elite in the Western Conference. Stay tuned though. Outside, Iago, ball played right behind him though. We're talking about a couple feet, inexcusable there. Ojeda, Luna, he set himself up. No, he gave it up. Iago was free on the left-hand side, but unfortunate for him, Wolf just could not layer it over to him. Iago, you feel like probably a bit colder, being stuck in a booth by himself. Ojeda off the heel, played away. Hidalgo got the right idea, just not enough velocity on that ball. Aguilar carrying around. Herediano, opportunity to counter, and they will. '79th minute. Certainly be a shocker here. Real Salt Lake cannot capitalize. Two more changes coming, one for each side, matter of minutes. Shots right now with this match being level at 1-1, favoring Real Salt Lake. 10-5. Luna trying to spearhead his way through some traffic. Wolf again, back post. Luna out there on the edge, but ball's never coming his way. Changes aren't going to happen just this minute. Now the changes will occur. Gozo coming in. A local product from West Valley City. Went into the box nicely and it found a seam. Gozo, the youngest players on this roster for Real Salt Lake. Ripe old age of 17. Seeing some critical minutes in this match. Played last week as well. Question is, will it add up for any? Murillo. Juarez also coming in. This night is over with. So the two changes for Herediano. Pretty remarkable that they're in this position. Offensively in the first half, couldn't do much. Didn't do anything. And defensively, they were bending a whole lot. Being outgunned, outshot, outpossessed, and only trailed 1-0 at the end of the first half. And in the second half, they got off the deck. They have recovered. Wow, it was almost disastrous for Cabral. Vera here. Too late on that delivery. Good cleanup by Luna. Trying to hold it. He got it back. There you go. Luna working to the back post in search of an open teammate, Iago, but ball's way too tall. 83rd minute. Got a healthy amount of changes in the second half. Also a couple brief stoppages. So if you're curious on stoppage time, we're gonna hover right around 7 minutes. I guess anyway. Hidalgo here. Again, the winner of this match moves on to the second round. First leg against LA Galaxy. Luna wanted it back, got it back. Real Salt Lake in the first half played good ball, but they were unselfish on several of occasions. Feels like that's Exhibit A right here in the second half. Just burning of the clock by Vega. Herediano in no mood to pick up the pace. One thing if you're trailing by a goal. It's another if you're level but have the advantage in the aggregate column. You don't want to get burned in transition here. Pretty clinical for them in a road contest like this. It's really not an easy flight to make, too, if you're traveling from San Jose. Looking at a flight probably well over 7 hours. Getting into Salt Lake City, Utah, making the commute. Changing in weather and also altitude. In a great environment. And now for Real Salt Lake. Time is not on their side. Squandered many of opportunities in the first half, and despite leading by a goal, lacking the knockout punch capability. Very curious as this year goes along for Real Salt Lake to see if this trend continues. Oh, it does for a moment, as you see the developing play, and Iago again with a redirect near target, but it goes wide of the net. Luna, who has come in the second half and provide a little bit of spark. Feels like everyone's setting up Iago, and rightfully so. He's been the leading man. Speaking of the leading man, this is an easy call to be made, and a yellow card immediately here at the top of the box as Gozo goes down. And a prime scoring opportunity for Real Salt Lake. Probably one of those moments in a match where a foul like this is a good foul to take. See Gozo, who had the step. Quick tugging on the jersey, and Rodriguez didn't give much of a compelling argument. Booking for Sergio, though, in the 87th minute. Another change being made. Stephen Williams will check himself in. Aguilar, the captain, will depart. Aguilar with the game-tying goal in the second half. Ferrer looking a little comfortable on the canvas. Aguilar with a sharp angle look at this sequence. As anything but an abbreviated wall in it. Luna there to the left, the chip. The best delivery. Herediano escapes for a moment. 88th minute. And now Real Salt Lake trying to pressure. Time's dipping down. Quickly to the back post. The header! Oh, another great stop by Carvajal. Full extension. And the Costa Rican loud and proud. Ruiz with perfect placement. Carvajal like a cat. Throws out that left paw. Big night for Carvajal again, much like he did last week against this same side. And short. Ball should go back. Herediano, and no, that's not going to be the case. Real Salt Lake trying to put their foot on the gas, needing a goal to advance to the second round. Pretty good ball. Iago not the intended recipient this time. Ruiz was on one side. Trying to hit the sequence there, but fortunately for Real Salt Lake, now more times burning up. 3-4 different cracks at target. Carvajal with the save of the night just minutes ago. Well, he was the man of the match at the end of the first leg. The question is, would you give it to him here tonight? I don't know. Toss up between him and Aguilar. Aguilar with the game tying goal late here in half number 2. Waiting for the fourth official to indicate how much stoppage time will be awarded to this contest. Real Salt Lake badly needing more than a couple minutes, that's for sure. Herediano, who had breakdowns in the first half defensively, cleaned things up more so here in the second half. A bit of cramping. Juarez helping out a friendly teammate, but back to the point with Real Salt Lake. They put a ton of pressure on the back line for Herediano in the first half. Scored a goal, probably should have had 2 or 3. Second half comes, and the match has been a toss-up. Questions tonight offensively for Real Salt Lake have been anything but rhetorical. And frustration last week, and tonight it certainly does continue. Shut out by San Jose in their first match to open up the MLS regular season. Blank last week in the first leg against this Costa Rican side. Now the 1 goal. They need a second, and quickly. 5 minutes of stoppage time. As for the time being, it's onside. Beg your pardon, far side official with the flag up. Ball goes right back to the Costa Ricans. You can see and hear and just feel the angst in the building. Plenty of frustration in the fans. They had those expectations of being a quality team last year, as we said during the open. No guarantee of a carryover here to 2025. Rodriguez down and cramping. I promise you by the look of it, not embellishing. Unforgiving feeling, especially this time of the match. He's gone wire to wire. He did not come off the bench for Alexander Vargas. Vargas did make a handful of changes here in the second half. Juarez and Murillo and Randy Vega. And as soon as the changes were made, though, for Real Salt Lake, their defense was blistered by Aguilar and company. His goal, the difference maker here in half number 2, leveling it up at 1-1. Rodriguez's night is over with. Fans in their own way saying goodbye. Aguilar's goal in the 70th minute, getting this game even at 1-up. Match being level at 1 does nothing though for Real Salt Lake because they conceded a road goal This would be the second time in Concacaf Action Champions Cup anyway that Herediano would eliminate Real Salt Lake. For Real Salt Lake not being in this situation since 2016. Even stoppage time being at 5 minutes, there are hints that it'll be extended a little bit further out than that. Coaching staffs on both sides a little hot. Unfortunately for Karen Hernandez, the fourth official, she'll get the earful from both crews. It all began when Sergio Rodriguez went down in agony. Medical staff came out with a stretcher and all, so any thoughts of embellishing quickly put to rest. Gozo sprinting for it. 17-year-old can't catch up, and possession stays with the home side. Shots now are 14-5 in favor of Real Salt Lake. Keep in mind the first half it was 6-1. Possession time in the second half is tilted a little bit towards the road side, 56% to 44 for Real Salt Lake. Clearly the better team in the first half. Second half, anything but. Played through into the box again. And those moments that were frequent in the first half have been seldom here in the second half. Kobe Henry on the attempt. Alexander Vargas and his crew looking for a massive upset. Costa Ricans coming to the United States, beating a member of MLS. FC Cincinnati was not denied. Took apart Motagua in the first leg 4-1, and then played to a 1-1 draw in the second leg, so they advanced. Cabral, who came out, this ball is coming all the way back. That's early in the year for both these teams, but it feels like these clubs are in mid-season form, aren't they? A lot of passion on the sidelines and probably some rather colorful language. Players for Herediano asking for this match to expire, but not the case, especially with the injury. This one played, laid up, Ruiz to the back post, volleyed around again. Iago elevating, second bite at the apple. Nothing doing. Pretty good defense by Herediano. Trying to switch the pitch. And we move on. Bravo on the left-hand side, open real estate on a clean breakaway. Cabral coming out to challenge, and a clean takeout. We should see some red. We'll find out. Will deliver yellow, but regardless, a PK, and this night should end with Real Salt Lake on the bad side of the ledger. Much better team in the first half, but they let Herediano hang around, and now they're going to get beat. And you can't say by an inferior opponent. Great counter, though, going back the other way, and for Cabral coming out quickly to challenge. Vega by his lonesome, and should be the icing on top. Vega came in as a second half sub. He replaced Jose Rodriguez. promise you if this was an MLS contest, things would be a lot more vocal from the fans in attendance. But for now, plenty of displeasure. Vega looking to put this game to rest, and he certainly does, gracefully into the corner. 2-1 Herediano, and this match is over. Costa Ricans will board their plane, head back home to San Jose. It'll be quite the trip back home to the mainland. The first leg was somewhat surprising, but this second half has been much more shocking to what Real Salt Lake has not done, and more so to the point of what they've allowed Herediano to do. Vega simply outclassing Cabral there. And for all intents and purposes, you could feel it. Herediano should be up 3-1. And a goal wiped off the board as Bravo had scored earlier. But a foul against Iago. VAR came in and decided that was not the case. This match is over, though. They prevail, Herediano does. The Costa Ricans coming to the United States, and they pull off a shocking upset of an MLS foe in Real Salt Lake. Aguilar, the captain, delivers in the 70th minute. That provided plenty of heartbreak for Real Salt Lake. And then Randy Vega, on the penalty, seals the deal. And for good measure, Herediano, they prevail in this contest, winning it 2-1. And they also win and advance the second round 2-1 in the aggregate score. So up next for them, it won't be any easier. They have LA Galaxy on deck. But the best part about this now for Herediano is not only do they get to return home, but now they cause another team from the MLS to make the long commute to San Jose. Disappointing as it is for Real Salt Lake, they do have some big fish to fry. But this is an important tournament for them, especially early on in the year. Champions Cup is a long-standing history. The recognition, not only the prize money, but the ability to size up and square up against international foes, and then of course those domestically if you see a common opponent. And for Real Salt Lake, they are reeling to open up 2025. Costa Ricans all smiles, and for good reason. They were outclassed in the first half and punished in certain ways. But a weakened opponent was not a retired opponent. And the second half, they scored not once, but twice. Had a third goal wiped off the board, and they didn't care. Massive upset for them, and for Real Salt Lake, back to the drawing board, and they have work to do. They play in a couple days from now against Seattle. No rest for them, but they have a lot of soul searching to do. This is a team long removed from what they did in 2024. Would you get you some post-game highlights, some sound, potentially a player interview or two? Herediano advances to the second round, the Concacaf Champions Cup. They win it here tonight on the aggregate, and the final score upsetting Real Salt Lake by a final of 2-1. This is David Gascon saying so long. We're catching the post-game show coming up next.
Estamos aquí con Elías Aguilar de CS Herediano. Felicidades por la victoria de hoy y por asegurar un lugar en la siguiente ronda. Teniendo en cuenta la importancia del partido de hoy, ¿cómo te sientes acerca de esta victoria?
Sí, buenas noches. No, muy contento. Creo que hicimos las cosas con mucha humildad. Creo yo que esta competición es de alta intensidad. Nos comportamos a la altura. Estoy muy contento con mis compañeros. La verdad que nos esforzamos muchísimo para lograr esto y bueno, esto es para la afición. Vinieron pocos aquí a alentarnos y muy agradecido. Porque siento que estamos para más. Nos quedamos con esta llave y bueno, la verdad que salimos muy fortalecidos mentalmente de todo lo que estamos logrando, ¿no?
Analizando el partido un poco, ¿cuál fue el factor clave para asegurar la victoria hoy?
Creo que ellos hacen un juego muy moderno, muy bueno, la verdad. Por ahí era normal que al principio del partido nos costara. El segundo tiempo, la verdad que dimos otra cara. Popularmente, como decimos nosotros en Costa Rica, nos la creímos. Y bueno, ahí gracias a Dios logramos la victoria y la verdad que muy contento con todo.
Muchas gracias y felicidades. Done differently in today's match?
No. I mean, created probably at least 10 good chances that we should have finished. We didn't finish them, and that's football, and we didn't score them. But, we had control for most of the game. Had 9, 10 more chances than them. There's not much else you can do other than finish the chances on the day. So I don't think we could have prepared any other way.
What would you say were the lessons that you and your team are walking away with from this tournament?
Just got to finish your chances when you have them. I mean, we went down to Costa Rica. We had 3 big chances there. We didn't score. We didn't get an away goal. Come back here, obviously score in the first half, and then again, a lot of chances that we just didn't finish. A lot of balls that went across the goal that we didn't finish. And when you don't take those chances, you leave the other team in the game for as long as it can. They scored in the 70th minute, and then we were chasing for a goal, and we just couldn't find one.
Thank you so much. And apologies about the wait.
Take a look at the final numbers in this thing. Real Salt Lake out shooting Herediano 18-6. Shots on target, doubling it up there, 6-3. Keep in mind, Herediano didn't have a shot in the opening half on target. Fouls just about even, 16-14, a couple yellow cards on each side. Corners, Real Salt Lake, again, this is all Real Salt Lake when you look statistically speaking, but a lot of the damage that they had was in the first half. Everything in the second half was pretty much even across the board. Take a look at the full-time highlights of this thing. Marchuk was subbed out in the second half, delivering in the opening half. Iago got the team on the board, and for Real Salt Lake, they played so well in the first 15 to 20 minutes. It was only fitting Iago would get the game's opening goal. Marchuk with the help run. It was the first goal scored by either side in the 2 legs, giving Real Salt Lake the advantage at 1-0. He had 6 shots in the first half. Iago delivering on more than 1 occasion. This sequence here in the second half, Iago got taken out by Brown. And with Iago and company up 1-0, Aguilar, Brown, Bravo, they all went to work. Quiros delivering into the box for Brown. And on the right-hand side, a pretty nice move. Bravo, who thought he scored the goal, did score, but after VAR had come in to overrule our lead official and Fernando Hernandez, things were taking an interesting turn for the worse for Real Salt Lake. It was more of a prelude of what was to come, not an anomaly. Hernandez forced to go to VAR, and so he did do so. Iago and company happy about it because the goal was waved off. Still 1-0. Deeper in the second half we go. Luna, some bad passing here. Palacio could not control it, and all of a sudden Aguilar, the captain, pounces on it. Jolly on the spot for Aguilar, capitalizing on the mistake. Quick touch passing from one side of Hernandez over to Aguilar, silencing the crowd, and it was 1-1. That goal occurred in the 70th minute. Chances on the opposing side for Real Salt Lake, probably the save of the match, of the tournament so far for Herediano, was right there. Perfect placement by Ruiz, and the elevation on one end. Carvajal extending fully with his left hand, keeping this game at 1-1. Meanwhile, on the other leg, Randy Vega on a clean breakaway gets taken out by Cabral. Vega would get back to his toes. He'd feel much better about it because he said, hey coach, sidelines, I want this. Takes the penalty in stoppage time and gently crosses the goal line, and it was good night for Real Salt Lake. Aguilar and Vega doing the damage. For Real Salt Lake, they're eliminated. Herediano moving on to round number 2 as they defeat Real Salt Lake, the member of MLS. They go down. Final score here tonight, Herediano 2, Real Salt Lake 1. This is David Gascon saying so long. Have a great week, everyone, and have a good night.